Hello, bros. Welcome. Good morning, good evening, good night, or maybe happy lunchtime. Wherever you're watching from in the world, hope you're doing well. I know I certainly am. Guys, it would not be a day without some Binance FUD. It seems like every day, every week, every month, there's some kind of FUD around Binance, and this week is no different. We're going to be getting into it. We're going to be taking a look at the Bitcoin charts, and we're going to be having a lot of fun. Where's Tim? Where is Tim? He is taking Beamer to the veterinarian. So, yes, this is where he is. He told me this. He told me this about 3 hours ago, and so here we are. We're going to get some awesome news. We're going to get a look at the charts, and we're going to see. And when I say awesome, I'm not just saying that as a filler word. It really is. We do have some really good, bullish, optimistic news here in the crypto world. And then we've also got some TradFi updates as well as the Binance FUD, which we're going to get to here in just a second. But before we do, I want to thank you all for tuning in. If you are watching, you're a bro. No matter what, you're a bro. Let's take a look at the quote of the day. Falling down is not a failure. Failure comes when you stay where you have fallen. That is from your boy, Socrates. Socrates is one of my favorite philosophers, and many see him as one of the founding fathers of philosophy. There you go. Say that 5 times fast. All right, guys. Let's see what's going on in the chat. I'm seeing Gia S, Brian D, Ninja Glock, Matt C, and Gia S. Again, guys, go ahead and smash the like button for me if you haven't already. We're looking to hopefully get up to 100 likes. We shall see. We shall see if we can get to it. If we do, I will hit the air horn, and I will have hit the air horn if that happens. We've got a fun quoted factoid of the day. Actually, why don't we go ahead and get to the factoid at the very beginning, and then please help me out not to forget the end. We will get to the factoid. So go ahead and crack open the factoid, guys. What people originally erected the wall in Manhattan where Wall Street gets its name? Let me know in the chat. And GS, I'm specifically asking you. You are my Tim today. You are my Tim. The factoid elf, which is swinging his legs right above my head. He comes up with these factoids every single day. The factoid elf does. And this was the factoid for today. I asked the factoid usually to Tim, who then takes way too long to try to answer it. And he usually waits to see what people put in the chat, and then he gives his answer. Very clever is Tim. But hey, how can you blame him? He makes a living. He spends all of his time looking at past performance, looking how others, are trading crypto, and that's what he does. So he's very used to it. It's a very good, very winning strategy, and so far he's done really well with that strategy. But today, Gia S. And if you're not a bro, you may have no idea what I'm talking about right now. That's okay. But Gia S is a bro, and she is going to absolutely give us the answer for today. So Gia S, lock in your answer, and you will be my Tim for today. I love it. Is it A, the British, the B, the American Indians, C, the French, or D, the Dutch? Let me know in the chat. But again, okay, so Gia S is going ahead, and she's locking in Dutch settlers early on. So you heard it here, folks. Gia S, quick to the trigger. She said easy. It's the Dutch settlers. Wow. We'll see. We'll see just how right you are or just how wrong you are. You're coming in very confident there, Gia S. She says that she's Dutch. Okay, so probably a pretty good chance that she knows what she's talking about, but she still could be wrong. There still could be a possibility that she's wrong. Let me know down in the chat what you think the answer to this question is, the answer to this factoid of the day. And then we're going to get to the answer. We're going to break it down, and we're going to have a little fun, guys. But before we do that is going to be towards the end of the show. Before we do that, let's go ahead and get into the breaking news here, the Binance FUD. Let's take it. Let's check it out. So lawmakers, U.S. lawmakers, as a matter of fact, see criminal charges against Binance and Tether. Again, it wouldn't be a week in crypto without Binance FUD. But this FUD, it's a little different. Okay, I will say that. This is interesting FUD, and it's coming at a time where Bitcoin is, I don't know if you've noticed this, guys, but Bitcoin is actually pretty bullish. It's making it's made some new highs here, not all-time highs, but it's made some fresh highs here. In case you've been living in a cave the last 72 hours, Bitcoin has been doing really well, right? Bitcoin has tickled and even closed above $35,000, and that is pretty crazy. And we're all cheering it on, and it's a lot of fun to watch, right? This, kind of some of the context here is that this head and shoulders was completely invalidated. Wait, I got to zoom way out. I'm in the hour chart. Let me zoom out. This this head and shoulders that was, now I'm too zoomed in, was invalidated, and there was a giant move to the upside as it broke out of this regression channel that I have drawn. So I'm going to officially, I've been using other charts. I'm going to go ahead and officially kill that head and shoulders. It is dead. The wicked head and shoulders of the West is now dead, and the $35,000 Bitcoin prevails. But Bitcoin has been trading very bullishly in the last 72 hours, and it's been causing quite a stir around markets, as Larry Fink called it, the rush to quality, right? And so there's been a lot of institutional buy-in, and retailers obviously FOMOing in as well. I know I have. All right, well, let's take a look a little bit closer at the details of this Binance FUD that's coming at the heels of a big move to the upside for Bitcoin. Okay, carefully evaluate the extent to which Binance and Tether are providing material support and resources to support terrorism through violations of acceptable sanctions law and the Bank Security Act. So that gives a lot more context to this headline, guys. Let's see if there was any more highlights for this one. No. So there's a lot of, there's an update. In response to the recent reports, Tether has issued a statement. Let's check that out regarding the calls for legal action. Specifically, has assured their belief in direct and transparent communication, found it necessary to address the ongoing reports. Okay, let's check this out really quickly. Actually, let me go to myself in case in case Watcher.guru has accidentally put some kind of crazy link. Okay, it's going to Tether's website. We'll check back in on that in a second because it looks like it's still loading for some reason. But French Hill is one of the politicians here, cited in this article. Sorry, I'm scrolling, hoping I'm not making anybody sick with my scrolling here. But French Hill, senator from Arkansas, some people say, and then also Cynthia Loomis of Wyoming. Both are Republicans, which is why I think this FUD is actually kind of interesting. Or there's more layers to it, I should say. So political party for French Hill, Republican, boom, closing that. Unless you guys want me to read his bio. He's a UCLA grad. Okay, cool. Just kidding. I'm not going to read his bio. And then Cynthia Loomis, also Republican of Wyoming. Are there even any Democrats in Wyoming? I'm pretty sure that Wyoming is the most conservative state in the union. But let me make sure I'm getting 100% correct, because I only checked this just a few minutes ago. Why is this not saying it? U.S. Senator of Wyoming. Come on. Okay, I'm not seeing it, but I'm almost 100% sure she is. Okay, right here. R, Wyoming. R, clicks through to Republican National. Okay, so I'm not going crazy. Anyway, that is relevant, though. It took me a little bit of pain to get through there to be able to prove that she's Republican. Thank you, Google, proving my point here. Yes, member of the Republican Party, Loomis. It probably was in the header of that Wikipedia page. I just scrolled right on past it. This is relevant. It's a relevant elephant fact, and I will get to this in just a moment, why them being Republicans is important. Let me get to some more of the details here. When it comes to illicit finance, Senator Loomis tweets, crypto is not the enemy. Bad actors are, okay? So we're starting to put some pieces together. We've got the terrorist element, and we've got the, you don't want to have a problem with crypto, we have a problem with bad actors. That's kind of, that narrative. I sent a letter asking DOJ to finish its investigations. Okay, so it's an ongoing investigation that she's asking them to finish, in her words, and consider criminal charges against Binance and Tether after reports they served as intermediaries for Hamas and engaged in illicit activities. Okay, so then she's got all the details here. You can go to her X account and check all those out for yourself. I'm not going to try to read them. They are going to be important, though. So I'm curious as to, yeah, but anyway, okay, so here's my take on this so far, right? And this news only broke about 3 hours ago. So let me just verify that because the timing here is important. But my take on this, guys, is that this is going to be a little more interesting because this isn't just the Elizabeth Warren group kind of coming out and complaining about crypto, right? The Elizabeth Warren, okay, obviously they're Democrats, right? Now this is a group of Republicans, okay, that are coming out and making a pretty big claim that Binance and Tether have been aiding terrorists. Now, there's a couple of different ways that this could go because when you look at the proof, you look at the facts, I can't imagine that the DOJ isn't going to find crypto wallet addresses that are connected to Hamas. I think they're gonna find those, right? The question is, does that constitute aiding and abetting terrorism, right? I think that's going to be a different thing to try to prove. What is the motive of Binance to try to and Tether to try to do that? Yes, they have the means, but do they have the motive, right? And is the evidence there? Probably. The evidence is probably there, but is there the motive? I think that's going to be the part that's complicated. And then it's also being brought by the DOJ. So then there's a question, because I'm not a legal expert, does there need to be a motive? Or can this be negligence? And can that negligence be criminal? So those are kind of the questions I'm asking. But it does, if you zoom back out, kind of look like just another week of Binance FUD, of which there almost always is. There almost always is some kind of FUD about Binance every single freaking week that we exist on this planet and that we observe the happenings of crypto. There's a lot more to cover here on this video. We're going to get to it in just a few minutes. We're going to look at some more charts. We also have a ton of optimistic, bullish news here that we're going to cover in just a few minutes. But guys, this is just, let me see what you guys are saying here in the comments. I need to see chat. Ninja Glock said, "Welp, maybe I'm thinking something else." Let's see. A Mellow Fellow said, "The government needs new anti-crypto talking points. I'm tired of hearing the same old objections over and over again." Right. Randomness said, "I hope we dump. I need some low prices." Kind of don't disagree with that. Depends what you mean by dump. Shane O said he meant flight to extreme manipulation. That's actually kind of funny. That's kind of funny. All right. A Mellow Fellow said LMO. LMAO. Meek Vision said flight to quality. Shane O said the latest Bitcoin move is starting to seem scammy. Every time there's a slight drop, there's a bullish new. I'm assuming you meant bullish news until now. Okay. So you've been watching the charts pretty closely. Looks like at least on the 4 hour to be able to make that claim, Shane O. That's interesting. I don't know that latest BTC move seems scammy. It's kind of hard to tell. Do you mean specifically like this move that brought us out of the regression trend here, or do you mean this like bearish move that we're seeing like literally today? Let me go down to the 4 hour. Are you talking about this move here lower, this almost 3% move, probably more than 3% move? Let me know. Let me know what you mean by that, Shano, because I don't know exactly what you mean. I would not say either of them really look scammy. I don't really know what that means, though. I don't know what you mean by scammy. So let's see. Indie Rock said, "We bully." We bully. I like that. I've never heard that before. We bully. Ninja Glock said, "If we dump it, probably just testing the previous resistance," right? And we're going to get to that when we take a look at the charts. But there's another headline here, guys, that I would be remiss if I did not bring up. Because as the dust settles, there is a little bit of another interesting tale. Now, let me tidy some things up here. So there are two Republican senators that bring forward a request to the Department of Justice of the United States. And they say, hey, look, you guys are already doing an investigation. Finish it, right? But also look into links between Binance, Tether, and terrorists. And to me, this is just the purest form of just frothy, really nothing here, FUD, except for that they're Republicans. Now, I don't know, what kind of, I don't know who these senators are. I don't know what style. Are they oil Republicans, right? Are they, probably should be libertarian Republicans? how have they voted over their political careers. I don't know the granular information about them. That would be very clarifying, right? But clearly, this is not going to be. So there could be a potential that they are actually the good guys here. They, in the sense that there are good guys and bad guys. A lot of people would say that all politicians, except Rand Paul, are bad guys. I don't agree with that. I think politicians are politicians, right? But they're not bad guys. So what am I trying to say here, though, is that when you use the words terrorist, right, like trying to form a link, especially right now where that word is just so hot for obvious reasons, that's such a biting word, right? It's going to get attention in the headlines. I just feel, and you're trying to associate that maybe with crypto or just Binance, right? It's kind of hard for me to read. Are they really batting for the good guys here? Because if you take a look at this tweet, right, from Senator Loomis, it's kind of like, I don't want to immediately just write her off as a bad guy, because she said, when it comes to illicit finance, crypto is not the enemy, bad actors are. So it's like, okay, is she really trying to go after what she thinks is the enemy, which is Binance and Tether? I mean, I don't think that they're the enemy. I think that maybe there's some, if there was anyone in those organizations who knew, right, that they were aiding and abetting terrorism, right, and they were like facilitating that and trying to increase the outcomes of that, then maybe, right, there's some bad, maybe like if Hamas had some people in the inside of Binance and Tether, right, then yeah, those are bad actors, right? But there's a very strong argument to be made here that even from a free speech standpoint, that all that's being done by Tether and Binance is providing a platform for anyone to exchange, period. That's it, for anyone to exchange. Now, does that mean that Binance and Tether should do nothing to try to prevent pain? Well, that's kind of what we're trying to figure out here in crypto. Where is the line? Where is the limit? Clearly with Bitcoin, there is literally no line or limit. If you can have access to the internet, you can pay somebody now, right? With Bitcoin, that's where we are now. In the same way, if you have access to a boat and a drone, you can pay anybody in cash, right? That's also a reality that we're living in now. So technology has enabled extreme freedom of speech by way of paying, right? Also extreme freedom of pursuing criminal ends, right? This is just the new reality that we're living in. And Cynthia Loomis is trying to do something about it, or she's just trying to make a headline, right? And potentially make, the folks back home in Wyoming have something to vote for her again for, that. And that's kind of probably where this is going to land. This probably has a lot less to do with crypto and a lot more to do with trying to get reelected, but that's so easy to say, right? And I don't want to come off as like overly cynical. I think there's genuinely some concern here, right? If there's something within crypto that's playing a role in terrorism, I don't like that, right? That's not something I'm waking up and celebrating about, right? But does that mean that Binance should be shut down? I don't know. I don't know that that's even what Cynthia Loomis is asking for here, right? She just wants the DOJ to look into it. Okay, so that's going to be my reaction to the breaking news here of U.S. lawmakers seeking criminal charges against Binance and Tether. But there is one more headline here. And I was getting to it. I got distracted with some other thoughts that were good thoughts. It wasn't even really a bad distraction. It was a good distraction. JPMorgan stablecoin to go retail as volumes surpass 1 billion. Okay. This is an interesting headline to come out today. The digital token is a stablecoin pegged directly to the US dollar with a 1-to-1 collateralized ratio. Sound familiar? Sound familiar at all? So while one stablecoin is getting pounded in the headlines, the other one's getting elevated, right? That's kind of convenient, right? May shed some light on who Cynthia Loomis, might have some obligations to. Okay. Oh, it's jumping out. The answers are jumping right out at me. Look at that. JPMorgan has plans to extend its utility. The next step, according to a very long Greek-looking name, involves creating a retail version of the digital asset. This could be achieved through central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, or by enabling banks to develop digitized versions of deposits using blockchain technology. Well, the banks were always going to get their fat, as it were. They were always going to get their piece of crypto. So this really shouldn't surprise you that JPMorgan is launching anything related to crypto, right? We all celebrate when a big corporation meant some kind of NFT project with Polygon, right? But it's really, really bad when JPMorgan comes out with a stable coin. Well, I tend to generally agree with that, but you shouldn't be surprised. Okay. And we also don't know where this really goes, right? I think that the big banks were always going to release some sort of digital asset, right? That could be, because that's what they do day in and day out, right? They release ETFs, they IPO companies. That's what these people do all day. They value assets, they value companies, annuities, equities. They say, hey, okay, this is how much it's worth. Let's take it to market. Let's sell it to Wall Street. Wall Street then values it. And in the case of Snapchat, it goes to zero, right? Just kidding. Or it takes off in the case of ARM, right? This UK-based chips manufacturer that somehow Robinhood got me early access to. I'm not sure why or how, but that happened, right? So when these companies are bringing assets to market, right, that's what they do all day. So why would it be surprised that they're going to bring a digital asset to market, a digital token, a stable coin? I'm not surprised. Is it a good thing? No. My impulse is no. You know, DeSantis has come out against stable coins. Ted Cruz has come out against stable coins. These are Republican politicians. These are leaders in, you know, conservative groups and generally pro crypto groups. Right. So I have every reason to believe that CBDCs just generally are not good things. Centralized anything, you know, having to do with finance, when Bitcoin now exists, you have to wonder. You have to wonder about it. Let's look at the chat here. Faden Tradfi said, IDT, T-Shroom, I'll be using JP Morgan stables. I bet they try and force it, though. Yeah, so if you have a Chase account, right, how long before they introduce the stable coins here that they're working on to you, right, your business or your personal account? Or how about one of the credit cards you have? Chase is the most popular credit card provider. JPMorgan Chase. Okay. So I guess the point I'm trying to make here is it shouldn't surprise you. But this headline coming out on the same day, right, is very convenient. Very convenient. It's just such a nice little time. Now, I guess I am kind of suggesting that there maybe have been some coordination behind the scenes, but I'm not saying that that's absolutely what happened here. Who knows? Who knows? But if you're JP Morgan, this is a pretty decent opportunity to announce that you're going to bring a stablecoin to market, to the retail market, right? Because of this guy right here, right? The other thing to note here is that Circle is not the one being charged. And how can we, if Tether has been used to send money to terrorists, how can we say the USDC or any other stablecoin hasn't been used? Like maybe, but you know, who knows? The DOJ is going to have way more access than the investing bros has. Their research team is a lot more robust to be able to find, are there truly, as Senator Loomis says, bad actors over at Tether? And there could be some folks in there that if you found out who they were and what they do and what they're associated with, you would say, holy crap, I do not want to be associated with that at all. I can't believe I own Tether, right? But we don't know. We don't know what the DOJ is going to find. We don't know if they're going to be honest about what they find. We don't know if they can't even release what they find, or if they're going to have to only report that to the senators. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on. So let's take a look here at the Cabesi letter. Has released some interesting data. Average interest rate on the 30-year mortgage rises above 8.09. This is the highest since July 2000. No, not 2020, 2000. Okay, quick maths. That's 23 years ago. Quick maths, indeed. Mortgage rates are now up for 7 straight weeks in their historic run higher. So this is kind of this shouldn't shock you either, right? That it's continuing to go higher. What should shock you, though, is that the home sales, which I don't have pulled up here, but I think it makes a lot of sense to go ahead and talk about that. The home sales, which is a new data print from today, actually did not disappoint. Here it is. Somehow new home sales surged by 12.3% in September, while a decline was expected. The median price of a new home is almost lower than the median of an existing home. for the first time since 2005. Exiting? This is exiting. What does that mean? Exiting home. Okay, that may be a real estate term I'm unfamiliar with. But the point here, guys, is that new home sales are continuing to rise in an environment where it's now 8.09% on a 30-year fixed. Right? That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. So what explains that? I don't know. I guess people still want to buy homes. I guess there's always going to be some percentage of people who are like, I don't care how high the interest rates are. I want to move to Philadelphia, or I want to move out of Philadelphia. Right? It was probably more the case. So I don't know. I don't know who these people are. I don't know. Maybe they're banks. Maybe they're investing. Right? The other fact of the matter is I'm really young, so I don't remember interest rates. I mean, really young, relatively, whatever. So I don't remember when interest rates were much higher than this, right? This is the highest that they've been in my very, very limited experience, right? So there's obviously going to be some boomers out there who are going to be laughing at me because, he thinks 8% is high. Boomers. All right. We're having fun. All right, moving along. Let's go ahead and get into the bullish side of crypto here. We're going to look at some bullish stories, and then we're going to check out the charts, and we're going to get to that factoid. Bullish. This was dropped in by Mr. J into our Discord. There's a link to our Discord down in the chat. Not in the chat. Maybe it could be in the chat if one of our mods could help me out with that. But there is a link to our Discord down in the description of this very video that you can get access to. And Mr. J is in there. He's dropping all kinds of wisdom, along with a lot of other really cool people who are dropping wisdom in there as well. But this I wanted to bring to your attention, which valued in ADA. ADA is now at the all-time high for TVL, total value locked, as data per DeFi Llama, which is pretty reliable for this kind of stuff. If you go to USD, if you go to try to go to this website, the default is going to be USD, right? And that is not at an all-time high because that's in USD, okay? Cardano has experienced significant downside relative to USD in case you hadn't noticed. But if you value it just in ADA, it is at an all-time high, which is actually pretty cool. That's really cool for me because I like ADA. I hold a decent amount of ADA. And, I cheer it on with Mr. J. I cheer it on. That is good to see. More bullish news on the horizon here. Grayscale Bitcoin Trust outshines NVIDIA with 220% gains this year. Wow. Let's take a look at GBTC. GBTC, it's not one that we pull up very often. Because it pretty much is one-to-one correlated with Bitcoin, except that it has the NAV, which I believe. Let's go ahead and look at that too. Y charts. It should be the one that I almost. Yes. Thank you, Google. Google's so helpful. Okay, so the NAV is now down to 14%. Now the NAV is kind of complicated, but it's essentially the difference between the value of the underlying assets that the trust, not ETF, holds. Right? And then the price. And then, I guess, the price divided by the amount of shares on the open market or that have been issued. So it's something like that. But the fact of the matter is you're getting technically a 14% discount on Bitcoin by buying this. Now, don't jump. It's not financial advice. This isn't the most bullish thing ever, right? But this is true. And Cathie Wood has come out and made comments on this is a great way to buy Bitcoin. But she also sold this very asset this week, right? So keep that in mind. But this is a way to get, discounted exposure to Bitcoin price movement. Now there is a point of failure. There's an additional point of failure. You can't self-custody this, right? You've got to hold it in a brokerage, which is definitely different, right? So for us crypto guys, this is a little bit different. But, the headline is very optimistic. It's up 220% this year. Very, very good. Very good. Now, I don't know what kind of details there could be here that would make me even more bullish, but it just kind of explains probably what GBTC is. We should already know that. If you don't know what it is, take a look at it. It's really, really interesting. I own a decent amount of it. Don't plan on ever selling it. Might take a little bit of profits, which is different. We've got more stories here. This one from Gary Cardone tweet. He tweeted, Bitcoin just flipped Tesla and Eli Lilly's market cap. These are top 10 crypto companies in the world. Are you buying or selling this week? Well, he's got a poll down there, and let me know in the comments before we get down to it. What are you doing this week? Are you buying or selling, and what do you think that poll said. But take a look here, guys. This is absolutely accurate. Bitcoin now valued at 669 billion. Pause for effect. Tesla, Eli Lilly, under that. And they are in the top 10 market caps globally. Look at this. This is the second time I've pulled this chart up this week, so it must be a great week. Tesla and Eli Lilly are, they're at the bottom of the list. Okay, I'll give you that. They're at the bottom of the list of the top 10, but they are still technically in the top 10 biggest. Okay, reported on this morning at 9 a.m. I go live solo. I usually have my partner here with me, Tim, but he has some important matters to attend to that involve his pooch going to the veterinarian. But you can see these are the only other companies in the world that are more valuable than Tesla and Eli Lilly are a finance company, Berkshire Hathaway, owned by, what's his name, Warren Buffett, okay? Meta Platforms. If you have Instagram or Facebook, you're using their products. If you're thinking about buying your kids the new Meta, what's it called, the Meta 3, right, for Christmas, you're buying it from these guys. Honestly, the new ads for that look pretty sick. I'm not going to lie to you guys. The Meta Quest 3, that's what it's called. It looks pretty sick. Okay, moving on. NVIDIA, Amazon, Alphabet, which is Google, Saudi Aramco, Microsoft, and Apple. Those are the only other companies in the entire world that are more valuable than not only Tesla and Eli Lilly, but Bitcoin. Okay, how long until Apple gets flipped by Bitcoin? That's the question I've got. That is the question I've got. And then Bitcoin, the next biggest thing is the $11 trillion market cap of gold. Right, that's the next biggest thing. Well, there's a lot of stuff in between that and there. Here, okay, but let's keep moving. We've got some more bullish news. Actually, we're going to go ahead and swerve on into. Well, we've got one more bullish crypto news. Kind of not really bullish for price, but just bullish for your heart, and bullish for my heart as well. Sam Bankman-Fried has no way out. He has no way to outfox the prosecutors, says Scaramucci. And let me tell you something. When Anthony Scaramucci speaks here at the Investing Bros, we listen. Okay? There is no more important voice in crypto than Anthony Scaramucci. Is there even a drip of sarcasm in my voice? No. Not at all. Look at him here. He had a relationship with SBF. He knew. But if you look in this picture, he had a feeling that SBF was not everything that he said he was. If you look at that picture and disagree with me. Tell me that Anthony Scaramucci was not picking up on some squirrely vibes from this degen right here. You can't tell me that because it's 100% true. All right, but this is kind of the take here, right? It's not a difficult take to make, but Anthony Scaramucci, I believe he's an attorney, so he actually has a decent perspective on this. He said he's getting skinned alive. There's no way to escape. He thinks he's going to outfox the prosecutors, but they're very, very well experienced with this stuff. So Anthony Scaramucci also said he thought he was going to take that money, and he was so smart that he would outtrade the market and put the money back and end up as a half a trillionaire. But it never works like that. Man, the words of Anthony Scaramucci here definitely resonating with me. SPF would not want to be him right now. It's not looking good for him. I think a lot of folks at the beginning of this trial, before it started, they were kind of thinking, "Oh, this guy's in with the the globalists and the deep state. He's going to be fine. He's going to get off easy." Well, I mean, the way the trial's going, it kind of looks like George Washington in the fourth quarter of the Revolutionary War. You know what I mean? I don't want to foreshadow that SPF's going to come back and win it, right? But it's not looking good for him. I probably should have made a different analogy there, but I think it's accurate. Maybe the outcomes are probably going to be different. All right, let's go ahead and swerve right on into TradFi, guys, and then we'll get to the answer of the factoid of the day, and then we'll take a look at some charts. Actually, you know what? We haven't looked at charts yet. Let's go ahead and do that. Before we do, I'm going to check in with chat. Indie Rock Crypto said, "I can't build more land. House costs are one thing, but the underlying asset property is the real value. Build new on untapped land will be the way." That's pretty good. I'm not exactly sure if you're referring to like NFTs or crypto, but I generally agree with what you got going on there. Indie Rock Crypto, good to hear from you. Rhinoceros said, there's actually a good number of boomers watching YouTube. I'd like to see newer data. I know I mentioned boomers. I by no means ever intended for anyone to think that boomers are not on YouTube. Boomers are absolutely on YouTube, and I love them. I love boomers. I can't remember exactly what I was saying about boomers, but I love them. Oh, yeah, I remember. It was because I've never seen interest rates this high. There's nothing bad about that. That's nothing. Maybe somebody else was saying, yeah. I mean, Rhinoceros here was actually he was kind of replying to IMJ. So IMJ probably said something somewhat negative about boomers, which there's nothing negative to say about them. They're perfect. They're the perfect generation in every way. Rhinoceros also said, making a comeback here, my parents bought their house for $50K back in the early 80s at like 18%. That same house is now worth $500,000. That's wild. That is wild. That's insane. Good for you, man. Good for your parents. Gen X, boomers don't watch YouTube. Okay, there's the smoking gun. There's no truth to that. Sorry, man. Sorry, IMJ. There's a lot of boomers that watch YouTube. It's a free app. Okay, everybody's going to be watching free apps that has really cool stuff on it. Like Mr. Beast is on this, right? You can go watch Mr. Beast's content for free. You watch a couple seconds of ad. Don't do that because the Investing Bros is the best content that you'll ever see on YouTube, right? But Mr. Beast's on here. You've got all the other channels, PewDiePie, right? You've got some of the most entertaining content around. Honestly, you got Kill Tony. Have you ever heard? I've never mentioned Kill Tony on this show. I love Kill Tony though. Well, love might be too strong of a word, but GS, they're putting up so-called low-income townhomes down the road, and they start at high 400s. I don't get it. Yeah, it's just not a time to buy a home, But I'm not too worried about it. As someone who does not own a home, it's like, it's not the worst thing in the world. I think the hack for me is that I live in a college town, and it's specifically a college town that doesn't have very high rent. So, renting to me kind of seems like an obvious option. Bedridden said, I see why they fund Binance now. LOL, JPMorgan stablecoin sounds like something Do Kwon would make. Yeah, that's a pretty good take, Bedridden. I like that. Peyton Steele said, T-Shroom, what's your opinion on Cardano highs for this bull run? Oh, what an excellent transition into the charts. I couldn't have asked for a better one. Thank you so much, Mr. Peyton Steele. I'm going to give you a comprehensive answer to that question. Let me just scoot right on over to the Cardano charts. All right, so you're asking about a highs. Well, look, the real answer here. Oh, did you think I wasn't going to share the charts? Ye of little faith. Let's go out. Let's zoom out real quick to the monthly charts, because if you're not zooming out, then you're going to pout, right? I just coined that one. I could see Kelly saying that on BitLab Academy every single day. If you don't zoom out, then you're going to pout, or your portfolio is going to pout. All right, so the context here for Cardano is that from its all-time highs, I'm going to count that wick, Cardano is down about 90%, right? Which is pretty standard for most cryptos. Cardano is a top 10. Man, I would be remiss if I got that one wrong. Believe it's a top 10 coin. Why did I have to even say anything about it? Here it is. Of course it is. Top 8. So it's number 8 on CoinMarketCap. Of course it's top 10. Shouldn't have second-guessed myself. Should have just plowed right on through with the confidence that I know I have in my heart. All right, so we've looked at the monthly chart. I will note that Ethereum is kind of right around here in relationship to the midline of the Bollinger Band. Okay, and then the Bitcoin is like way up here now. Okay, so just that is something to note. What do you take away from that? It means Cardano has quite a ways to run. Okay, so we at least know that, not know, but there's a good chance that Cardano, at least in proximity to the Bollinger Bands, has a good chance of coming up here and testing 62 cents, right? That's kind of the movement that Bitcoin has made in proximity to the Bollinger Bands. Don't believe me? Let's take a look. Boom, right there. Monthly chart, Bollinger Bands, all kinds of all crazy all over the place here. But Cardano, chilling out around down here, again, in proximity to the Bollinger Bands, has a lot of ground to cover. Okay. So that's the first thing, 63 cents. So like, let's say Bitcoin's like almost exactly equidistant between the midline and the top band. Okay. Do you agree with that? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But let's go ahead and check out where that would put Cardano. If I scale that out, about the equidistant line here, right between the top and the midline for the Bollinger Bands, would put it right around 63 cents per Cardano, which would be I'd say that's very bullish, right? But I'm just doing a rough analysis here. I am not the crypto wizard for the channel. That would be Tim or Tim Warren, and that would put Cardano up 126%. That's not that much for Cardano. Cardano has done way more in the past. Way more in the past. Okay, it's a little different when you draw it from the downside, isn't it? 58%. Did you know that? If you're a noob to trading or investing, you probably didn't know this. When you start to really zoom out and move, the extent to which you move down is highly accelerated. Okay, let that one sink in. I'm not going to go into too much detail on that. All right, let's go ahead and drill in to the 4 hour here for Cardano, and let me show you guys how I would do kind of the rough analysis here for Cardano. All right, and kind of where it could go. All right, I'm going to do a Fibonacci. Boom. I'm going to start it here, and I'm going to end it here. Okay, and that gives us right around a fair valuation, right, of the full extent of this move, right, from when it broke down here to the move up. So, this is kind of where it started to find rejection, right, and make a move lower to tap the midline of the Bollinger Band where it is now, just above that after the wick, right. So this is kind of makes sense. You didn't get anything really coincide super strongly with these Fibonacci levels, but that's not a bad way to kind of start and see, where Cardano could go. Let's see. Let's also do. I'm on the 4 hour. Let's zoom out a bit more here. Go to the 1 day. Let's do a little. Let's do a little VPVR. Where is that though? I haven't done that one in a long time. Anchored volume profile. Let's do the fixed range. All right. Let's do it all through here. Okay. So this gives us a little bit of confluence, maybe with that closer to that 63 level, way up here. But as you can see, Cardano starting to come into a little bit of resistance when it comes to the VPVR. Right around here is where this mountain starts to build up back here at 30 cents. So, it kind of makes sense again that we're rejecting where we are. So that's kind of where I'll leave it. To be honest with you, you guys are probably doing way more TA on Cardano than I am. I know that Tim is doing a ton more TA on Cardano. So I will kind of leave it there. Only thing else that I notice is that on the traditional, kind of more of the traditional indicators here, starting to get a decent amount of overbought. But the MACD lines, see, the same thing goes for the MACD lines on Bitcoin. These guys are just shooting up. Look at this. There's only strength and confidence in the angle of these freaking MACD lines. Goodness. Now that could easily change. You can start to see it kind of tick back down, right? But as far as the MACD lines, very confident. Okay, and to be honest with you, I mean, you are getting the deceleration of these green histograms here from the MACD as well, But you are it's let's see, talk about this with inflation. It's accelerating at a decelerating rate, right? But it's still accelerating. Okay, so still some bullishness there for Cardano. We'll point out that on the MVP oscillator here, it is starting to get into that overbought range. All right, let's go ahead and pivot back over to Bitcoin. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to draw a ton more conclusions because I'd rather leave it for the pro, Big Tim himself. But right off the bat, I am noticing, the live MACD histogram that we're on right now has decelerated, right? Which is, bearish. But guys, I mean, you shouldn't be surprised. You shouldn't be surprised. This, Bitcoin, any chart, it has to come back down and recharge. It's got to come back down and refuel, reload, however you want to say it, and that would be about a move 10.3%, right, if we want to bring it back to that regression trend. So, but there's a lot more support here that I do not have drawn for some reason. I don't know where it is. Yeah, you got that. That's a little bit. There you go. So you've got this this line here from Chart Prime. That's putting it right here at 3,208, which is, I've seen some confluence on that today from some other charts. It also kind of coincides with the top of this Bollinger Band, right, where that kind of limits out, which don't take that too much to heart, because that is fairly uncommon in an orthodox to try to say that that's going to be any kind of support based on the upper limit of a Bollinger Band. It's interesting. I don't think I've ever heard somebody say that. So maybe I'm an innovator here. On the Chart Prime indicators here, you can see that Bitcoin wicked into the premium section here, which is something that you may not have noticed, especially if you don't have a subscription to Chart Prime's indicators, which you can get 45% off a whole month and an entire quarter if you use our link down in the description. It's actually the best discount for Chart Prime that there is. Now, you might be a new trader. Chart Prime is really good for new traders as well. You might be looking at all this spaghetti and being like, whoa, making your head spin, right? But if you want to just simplify it all down, there's really two confluences that a lot of people will pay attention to. Let me kill this regression trend and simplify it a little bit for you. So a couple of things here is these buy and sell ratings, right? A strong is going to be stronger than just a buy or sell, right? But then the other thing too is like the confluence of what's called the trade assistant here. Okay, so right here, when the trade assistant flip green, right? It's when the candlesticks here for Bitcoin got up above the red trade assistant, right? It flipped over that, right? Penetrated through, sliced through, and then a new trade assistant came in that was green, and you got the buy rating. And that was obviously a big move higher. Okay, here the opposite happened. Okay, the price action sliced through the trade assistant here, and then it moved to the downside. If you'd taken now, these are the simple confluences that you could have used with Chart Prime, because it was currently under a sell rating, right? So this would have been your first indication. Sell. Or, if you're a trader, you take a short position, right? Which, if you don't know what that is, look that up. And then also, it penetrates through here, flipping the trade assistant red. Okay, that's confluence, and that's a strong indication that this is making a move to the downside. You would have been rewarded if you'd sold the bottom of the wick with 10%, right? But more than likely, you probably would have sold a little bit early, so you probably would have gotten somewhere around there, right? But if you held onto it and sold the real bottom, you would have done 11.6. Not bad. Don't ever expect yourself to be that good. That's seriously. Don't ever expect yourself to be that good. That's not that's not going to happen. All right. So the point of all that, though, is you absolutely can go to the link in our description here, and you can get 45% off right here. Boom, boom, boom. And guys, look, it really is good. It really is good. I know Alex, the CEO, he works really, really hard to make this indicator super good. I've talked to their developers. I've had multiple meetings with the Chart Prime developers, Jesse. He's a super cool guy. And he's also like one of the freaking best on TradingView. He's like ranked. Like back when I was into like looking at indicators super hardcore, met with him, and I started realizing, hold on, this guy's tag is like ranked on TradingView. Not going to take the time to try to look into that because it's probably too complicated to try to find that. I'll just fumble around. All right, we're nearing the end of the show here. I hope that I'm going to see some reminders to do the factoid. Let me see. Brian D said, I was watching Karens on YouTube before the show. There you go. Yeah, so there's boomers on YouTube in more than one way. Who is the biggest boomer? Who exemplifies to you? Who is like the most quintessential boomer? I've got a couple. I think my quintessential boomer is this guy right here. It is Dave Ramsey. For some reason, when I think boomer, this is the guy I think of, and I love him. I love Dave Ramsey. He's great. The content, absolutely amazing. And look, man after my own heart, he's got the broadcast headphones, which if you haven't noticed, most YouTubers do not use broadcast headphones. Me and your boy, Dave Ramsey, absolutely do, even when pictured on Money Magazine, which whenever I'm pictured on Money Magazine, I too have my broadcast headphones on. Because when you put them on, you feel like you're courtside at an NBA game. And you're saying, well, Dave, I'm really excited to see these young men get out here and display their high level of athleticism. And it just works really well with these headphones. All right, guys, here we go. What people originally erected the wall in Manhattan where Wall Street gets its name? Gia S. guessed D, Dutch. And she is Dutch, and she also is right. Look at that. All right, let's check it out here, guys. The name Wall Street. Did you know that Wall Street is really named after a wall? Who would have ever guessed that? It was a wooden barrier built in 1653 to protect the Dutch colonists who then ruled Manhattan from the British and Native Americans. 1653 also happens to be when Joe Biden was born. Ha 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 ha. Just kidding. So this is pretty cool. Pretty interesting fact. Look there. You've got a picture posting the notice which located Wall Street. Yeah, so this is kind of what life looked like. There's a windmill, quintessential Dutch. Okay, if I'd shown you this picture, you probably would have guessed it right. Matt C said grumpy boomer, pointing up to someone else in the chat. That's funny. Faden Tradfi said kinda like inflation, but you typed a different word, not like, which is not a good word that I would want to say live on air. Indie Rock Crypto said, so the whole stonk market went bearish as soon as PLTR hit $20. Interesting. I don't have really time to dig into that or the brain energy to dig into that, but thank you for pointing that out, Indie Rock Crypto. If you slide on into our Discord, I'd love to chat with you more about that a little later when I have my spirit back. But right now, it's kind of the bottom of the ninth, and I am like back in the dugout, fighting for my life. No, I really am tired, though. Guys, here's Wall Street on Google Maps. Thought I'd bring it to you guys. It's kind of cool to look at. There it is, Wall Street. And look how tall those freaking buildings are, man. From a bird's eye view, they are really, really tall. From any eye view. Have you been there? Let me know in the chat. Have you been to Wall Street? I've been to Wall Street. I've got a picture of it on my Instagram. You have to scroll really far back to find it, though. But I was like probably 21 when I went. Got to go check out the bull. Visited the UN building. Let's see if I can find it on the map. I think the UN building is this one right here, I believe. No. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to find it. Probably not worth it. Oh, yeah, I think it's actually like way back. Yeah, is it this one right here? I know that it's right next to a bridge. Animal Hospital? That doesn't sound right. Anyway. Yeah, let's go ahead and skip that one, guys. All right. So, we are here at the end of the show. I was kind of worried that I was only going to go 30 minutes, but yet again, I've surprised myself and gone the whole show. We got the factoid. We got the quote of the day. We got the breaking news that U.S. lawmakers are seeking criminal charges against Binance and Tether. So far, this has not been enough to bring Bitcoin down. I mean, like significantly, right? Obviously, it hasn't made a correction, but $34,000. That's not, if you told me last week Bitcoin's going to be at $34,000, I would have said something very questionable, right? I would have questioned you. All right, guys. Well, let's see. We go live every single day at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'd love to have you. If you've enjoyed this, you got any kind of value out of it, I probably was one of the only ones covering this breaking news on Binance and Tether. If you enjoyed this at all, subscribe. Usually it's not just a half crazy me, T-Shroom, going at it. It's usually me and my partner, Tim, who does a lot more robust analysis on the charts. He'll also look at way more stocks. Oh, I know what we didn't do. We didn't look at the TradFi news. Do you guys want to even look at that? Amazon sets to report third quarter earnings after the bell. That is going to be big, actually. Are you exposed to Amazon? I know I am. I've got some of it. I think that they're going to do real well in the AI narrative, actually. And then this, I forgot. I covered it this morning, so I don't feel too bad. But U.S. GDP grew at 4.9% annual pace in the third quarter, better than expected, which is kind of a smack you in the face statistic. I mean, people don't really care about GDP right now because the Fed just doesn't say much about it, right? But that's a big beat for GDP. Kind of crazy. Where was I with my closeout here? Like and subscribe. Big shocker that I would say that here at the end. We go live 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single weekday, and then 11 a.m. on Saturday, still Eastern Standard Time for that. Yeah. So also in the morning, I go live by myself, 9 a.m. If you like my crazy personality, if you like, what I do, then you can get just me, 9 a.m. I mostly cover the news. I'll hit the charts a little bit. 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Did I mention that? And then also Tim, we drop a video for him, and he does much more chart-heavy content, obviously, at 8:30 a.m. And then after that, you've got Army Piper too. So for that whole hour and a half, we've got you covered with top crypto content, just like you saw today. I don't know that I would consider this episode top crypto content, full disclosure. Maybe the coverage of the breaking news actually was pretty decent, in my opinion. But, I definitely have some low energy vibes right now. I get it. A Mellow Fellow said, great T-Shroom takeover, homie. I appreciate that, a Mellow Fellow. And Peyton Steele said, great work today, T-Shroom. Respectfully, smash that like button. I couldn't have said it better myself, to be honest with you. If you haven't smashed the like button, then, to be honest with you, I get it. I don't know that I've delivered the best that I possibly could have, but I delivered something. Guys, do me a favor, because I work closely with this man right here. He's super cool, Gary Cardano. I work with him pretty well, and I got to be honest with you. He has just dropped this new video with Patrick Bet-David. This has never been seen before. Literally, it's premiering right now, and it's pretty good. I helped him produce this video, and he's just an awesome guy, Gary Cardone. And he's someone who's come from the commodities industry, commodities trading, and then he had a credit card business. And, he's just, what he likes to do is go from industry to industry. It would really mean a lot if you guys would go over there and check out this video, and also consider subscribing to Gary Cardone. He's a big Bitcoin guy. That's the part that I left out. He's now a big Bitcoin guy, taking a big position in it. And he's also invested in a company that is helping businesses and individuals with high net worths become compliant with their crypto. So there it is, Gary Cardone. Oh, and he's also the brother of Grant Cardone, which if you go to his channel, he also interviewed his brother, which was also very cool, very emotional, very deep. They're twins. So look, am I telling you to go check out Gary Cardone? I am, because he's a cool guy. He's a friend of mine. I work with him. I help him produce this content. And he just did an interview with freaking Patrick Bet-David. How cool is that? I got to meet Patrick Bet-David because of this. So super cool. Yeah. All right, guys. That's going to be it from me. I love having you guys in the chat, having a lot of fun. Matt C. said, well done, T-Shroom. Tim who? Exactly. Where even is Tim? Where is he? He should have been. Brian D. said, tone it down, T-Shroom. You're a little hyper today. Wow. I appreciate that. That actually is a compliment because I don't feel hyper. Trump paid the highest price ever for... Okay, I'm not going to read that one fully, but there you go. Indie Crypto said, Cam, go more than 30 minutes. No wonder she's out a rag on it. Not exactly sure. There's some things that come to mind with that one, but I'm not actually sure what that means. David Williams said, Joe Biden turns into a Roomba after every press conference. I've seen these memes. These are good memes. Mansouri Ski said, this show is hilarious. Come for the crypto. Stay for the jokes. Am I right? All right, guys. If you've watched this far, whether you're watching live or you've watched recorded, I genuinely thank you. I know that I've been a little crazy in this one, but we've had some fun. I think we did have some fun with our quote of the day, factoid of the day, our bullish, our bearish headlines, our breaking news, we got a little bit into the TradFi with that crazy GDP print. And at 4 o'clock, okay, it's 4 o'clock. We might as well go ahead and look at Amazon's earnings. Let's see what they've done. You're going to have to wait a minute or two because it doesn't come out immediately right at 4:01. Well, it should, but it doesn't. Not how it works, unfortunately. Let's see if it's printing on Robinhood. Oh, man. Hey, I just figured, we might as well. We're still here. We might as well go ahead and just hang around and just wait for the Amazon's earnings here. Going over to the charts, you can see, seller, it has sold off quite a bit, but in the post market, it's coming up, which could be bullish. Is there any headlines? Here's the earnings. Estimate, revenue. Okay, so these are just estimates. So we have not gotten the print yet. I'm not seeing it. Refresh CNBC. Nothing yet. Where would this be more likely to be? Maybe on Twitter? Let's see. Nothing yet. Nothing. Oh, it wouldn't be on there. It would be on Zero Hedge. Zero Hedge probably has it by now, actually. So we're going to find out here. 7 seconds ago. Better data sparks bid, bond bid. That's not, we don't care about that. We want the Amazon print. Okay, still not out then. Probably going to find it here, though, if you're still hanging out. I really appreciate you watching here. At this point, I'm just kind of curious, and you might as well watch it with me live. I do feel bad, though, because we try really hard to have good quality control on this channel, and I feel like I'm violating that right now. Oh, man, it's really taking some time here. Still nothing. Oh, Amazon earnings. Here are the numbers. All right, here we go, guys. Earnings per share, 94 cents per share. That may not compare with the 58 cents per share expected by LSU. What? Was that much of a beat? Wait, what the heck? 94 cents per share. Revenue 114 billion. That may not compare with what does that even mean? The estimate was 58. Are you telling me that the print was 94? There's no way. Is that true? Okay, if that's true, then we'd be seeing a huge move to the upside, which we're not. We are seeing a big move to the upside. Goodness gracious, I thought it was this line. Holy crap, okay. Amazon may have just saved the stock market. There you go. You couldn't have written this, guys. And the NASDAQ has been getting absolutely trashed, trounced, demolished. It probably will, and probably still will, come back down here and touch 12.4, right? S&P, same thing. Well, maybe not that low. Maybe, though. Let's see. That would be coming back down to 4 even. That's not too unlikely, but Amazon. So this is 94 cents per share. Let's see if Zero Heads has any analysis on this. That's actually really good. Still nothing from Zero Hedge. Wow, they're slacking. Big slacksters over there at Zero Hedge today. Usually they're on it with this kind of stuff. They're on Whirlpool shares. Who cares? Okay, so whoever was on task to do the Amazon print either printed it really early and I don't see it, or has completely dropped the ball. They're probably freaking out over there at that account right now. But yeah, I mean, you heard it here first. If this is what I'm thinking it is, this is a huge beat. 94 cents versus 58 cents. All right, guys. Well, we'll see. We're going to sort it out. We went 5.5 minutes over. That was a lot of fun. I'm sure we'll be talking about it a little bit tomorrow. But yeah, no, Amazon doing pretty well here. Let's see. Let me just confirm from Robinhood. Of course, I'm not going to show it. Robinhood has not posted it yet. But yeah, estimates were 58 cents per share. And unless this CNBC article has completely gone off the cliff, this is an insane beat. So, wow. That's good. All right. That's going to be it from me, guys. Have a great rest of your night.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor, the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news, got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.